pitches. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
Thank you, Kershaw. This is a no-hitter.
It is gone! It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner! It's over! Muncy, a walk-off home run! This is way back! Walk 'em off! Chris Taylor!
Give me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back.
Bad news for the Dodgers starting rotation. Potentially the worst news you could get. The Dodgers are likely going to be without their ace. We'll have another update on Clayton Kershaw. What will the Dodgers do with their starting rotation in the postseason? That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
Another payoff. Benny got him with a slider.
Clayton Kershaw!
It's Teoscar Hernandez.
Mookie mashed. It's a grand slam. Showstopper and game ender.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to an emergency episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, and let me know down below. What is your reaction to the news that Dodgers ace, who was going to be their Game 1 starter in the postseason, Tyler Glasnow, is highly unlikely to pitch again this season? What do you make of it? Who has to answer for this? Is this on the front office? Is this on the trade, then the extension? Where do you put this on as far as just the overall outlook of the state of the Dodgers rotation? We're going to talk about what the Dodgers will do. I'm also going to let you know that it's not over, and you can keep those thank you fans graphics. Even though I love it and make me laugh every single time, you can keep them in the drafts, because I'm telling you, the Dodgers season is not over yet. But let me know where you're representing Dodgers Nation from. But let's get right into it. So before tonight's Game 2 of this 4-game wraparound series, you got Jack Flaherty and Chris Sale going tonight. Dave Roberts told reporters that it is highly unlikely that Tyler Glasnow will pitch again for the Dodgers this season. Roberts said it's a big blow, looking at what he meant for our ball club, what he's done for us, what he expected of himself, what we expected him to do. Certainly there's going to be a cost, but we have to move on, and we will, and we have capable people. So, yeah, a big blow, that's an understatement. Tyler Glasnow was your ace. Tyler Glasnow is a pitcher that they traded Johnny DeLuca and Ryan Pepio to the Tampa Bay Rays, and before he had ever thrown one pitch for this club, signed him to an extension, signed him to a brand new deal, 5 years, $136.5 million, to be that guy in Game 1, to be that dominant force on the mound that this team has not had in recent seasons. And unfortunately, the reputation for Tyler Glasnow is that he's injury prone, and that it's very difficult for him to stay on the mound through the course of a 162-game season and into the postseason. And this season, 22 starts, new career high, 168 strikeouts, new career high, 134 innings, new career high. Well, guess what? He's likely done for the season. So I know what you're going to say, Tyler Glass arm, and you're going to talk all that stuff. And look, at this point, they rolled the dice on a very high ceiling pitcher. His ceiling is as high as any pitcher in baseball. When he's on, he's one of the best. But unfortunately, he's not on the mound enough when it matters. And this Dodgers team, their World Series hit, their World Series chances took a big hit today. Their World Series chances took a big hit today because the master plan last offseason was to get 2 frontline guys. And you got Glasnow, you got Yamamoto, When they're on the mound, they're great. Yamamoto missed almost 3 months with the tricep strain, the shoulder injury, the rotator cuff issue, and then Glasnow now with the elbow tendonitis. And the thing about the tendonitis, can take a couple weeks, can take a couple months, but the most important thing for this team in the here and now is that they've got some broken glass, and that is in Tyler Glasnow, and he is not going to be available. So we'll get into the ramifications of the decision to go out there and trade for Tyler Glasnow. I mean, look, there were guys out there, and I think that upside-wise, Glasnow made a ton of sense. Absolutely. I pushed for him. I'm not afraid to say it because of how good he is when he's on. And the Dodgers did what they needed to do and went out there and secured another ace. But I do think that you had to really look at the fact that, look, I mean, this guy went 6 innings in 18 of his 22 starts. And I almost think that in his first year with this team, knowing that you were going to need him, it makes you wonder. I mean, moving forward, this is someone that I don't think should go past 6 innings, that really shouldn't make more than 20 starts. At this point, moving forward for Tyler Glasnow, he should not make more than 20 starts in a season. He should not pitch more than 6 innings in a game. And should they have proceeded with a little more caution? Should you have wrapped him in bubble wrap? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, probably not, right? Probably not, just because, look, you pay this guy a lot of money. You expect him to go out there and post and produce for you. But I also think that you had to also kind of accept the reality with Tyler Glasnow. The truth of the matter is he is one of the best pitchers in baseball, but he's also one of the most injury-prone and least durable pitchers in baseball. That's not a take. That's a fact. They knew it. They rolled the dice, and it came up snake eyes. And that's just the truth. That is just the truth when it comes to the Dodgers and the trade for Tyler Glasnow. Made a lot of sense. Still think they get a lot of production out of him in the future. Next year, you get him back. Ohtani's back and all that good stuff. But I don't know about you guys. I'm thinking about a World Series this season, not next season. I'm tired of waiting next season for the parade. We got Anthony 559. We're cooked. Point blank. Period. Glass disappointed. That's from NorCal. Eddie. I hate the Dodgers. Okay, a lot of pain in the comments. Bring the copium. Devastating. Made out of glass from Daniel. It's on Andrew and Doc. Yeah, look, the thing about Dave Roberts is, look, he said that the medical scans turned up fine and they felt pretty good about it. Then yesterday he was supposed to pitch in that simulated game, and as he was warming up, he felt some discomfort, and it was in the elbow, and now his season is over. His season is done. Richard Flores says, just waiting for the Dodgers to post TJ surgery was successful. I'm going to give you a bruh for that one, but that's out of love for sure. Glass arm from Alexander. Yeah, you got a lot of people, a lot of frustrated Dodgers fans. The Sandwich, $9.99 super chat. Rumors circulating that D-Mac is throwing sim games in preparation for the postseason. Yeah, look, it's going to be, I mean, the starting rotation by the end is probably going to be Decoy in game 1, Brewstar's mom in game 2, Mookie's mom in game 3, and then me in game 4. I mean, that's the Dodgers starting rotation right now as it stands. But look, in all seriousness, when you just kind of take a look at this season as a whole, and we're going to get to the options, we're going to break this all down, guys. Settle in. Let it out. This is the place for it. Give me all your takes down below. Fire away down below in the comment section. By the way, if you haven't yet subscribed to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel, #1 Dodgers show on YouTube, Dodgers Dugout Live. We're doing more giveaways coming up. Comment giveaway down below in the comment section because the giveaways are rolling. They're rolling. So definitely make sure you are subscribed. Kelly O'Shear says, my first reaction was, how did he sprain his elbow if he hasn't been throwing? Then the shake those bats up, damn it. Yeah, look, I fell to my knees at a Costco. I fell to my knees at Dodger Stadium, at Philippe's. I mean, it's just, it's tough news. It's tough news because the master plan this offseason, you're starting to poke holes into that master plan. And you look at the fact that in most days, we'd be pretty upset about the Kershaw news because Clayton Kershaw is likely out for the season as well. So you look at right now, some of these guys are trending in the right direction. Some of them are done for the season. But right now, look at how many Dodgers pitchers are on the IL. Look at how many Dodgers pitchers aren't going to be available to help this team this season. Tyler Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May, Emmett Sheehan, River Ryan, Kyle Hurt, Nick Frasso. Yes, you have Gavin Stone and Tony Gonsolin there on the mend, and you really have to put your hopes and dreams. Let's do a little mini prayer circle, guys. Give me the candle emojis in the circle, and inside the prayer circle, put please be healthy. Please get well soon, Gavin Stone. Please let that shoulder inflammation go down for Gavin Stone, because you are going to need him. And at this point, Tony Gonsolin, Shohei Ohtani, I mean, it's getting to the point where, okay, look, Buehler, you're definitely, I mean, Buehler's bumped up to, he's probably going to be your number 3. Knack, rough start yesterday, might have to lean on him in game 4. Bobby Miller, at this point, the home run balls have been a major issue. He's struggled tremendously when it comes to keeping the ball in the yard. But when you look at his stuff, does he get more of an opportunity? I will say, if you want to spin this as a positive, or not necessarily as a positive, but if you want to just have some faith and hope that this team can still win the World Series, I will say this. Did the Dodgers' World Series chances take a massive hit today because you lose your ace in Tyler Glasnow? Absolutely, 100% full stop. A brutal loss. Anytime you lose your number 1, it's a brutal loss. Having said that, you did go out there and trade for Jack Flaherty, who has the lowest ERA of any pitcher after the deadline. You say Kikuchi's pitched well for the Astros, but Flaherty has pitched well. And Yamamoto, he looked nasty in his first start back. 8 strikeouts, 11 whiffs in 4 innings of work. Curveball, Yamamoto told me that the biggest key for him is that breaking ball. And he felt really good about his breaking ball, and he was surprised at how well it looked. So Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he's got the stuff. I will say he's still a rookie, hasn't pitched in the MLB postseason yet, so we still have to see it to believe it. But the team that won the World Series last year, I mean, Monty had his moments. He was fantastic throughout, but there's no reason why Jack Flaherty and Yamamoto can't do what Jordan Montgomery did for the Texas Rangers. The truth of the matter is this rotation is in a much better spot today than it was heading into the postseason last year, when you had an injured Kersh, a kind of hit-a-wall Bobby Miller, and a Lance Lynn just gave up another home run in the NLDS. Jack Flaherty and Yoshinobu Yamamoto can be better than the Rangers' top 2 starters in the postseason last year. What the Dodgers are going to need to do to make a deep run of this postseason is they're going to need those 2 guys to be great. They're going to need their bullpen to be nails, and they're going to need their offense to show up. Remember, as bad as the pitching was last season, as suspect as the pitching was in 2022, I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, first 2 games, you had Julio and Kersh. They went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs each. Gonsolin got rocked in game 3, and then Tyler Anderson pitched well in game 4, but was taken out way too early. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why the Dodgers had early exits is because the bats didn't show up. Who wasn't on those teams? Shohei Ohtani wasn't on those teams. Teoscar Hernandez wasn't on those teams as well. So to say that it's not going to happen, I like this. Bring up at this point, let's go. Let's roll. Bring up Edgardo Henriquez. I've been talking to him recently, and this guy's not afraid. He's not afraid of the chance to go up. I like the 7-man rotation next year, a 999 super chat. Those fans who wanted Kersh back, live with it now. Dodgers could have invested on a decent, consistent pitcher. Instead, at least we have prospects. Is there a pitcher off waivers out there? Tommy Alvarado, $4.99. D-Mac, can I get a you win perfect to make me feel better? I got you, man. I got you. I'll be your guy's shoulder cry on, guys. Okay. Fight on USC. Some SC fans in the chat. Is Kevin Brown, Chan Ho Park, and Brad Penny available? Rivolo. That's the thing. So let's look at the starting rotation right now. So Tyler Glasnow, he is likely done for the season. The Dodgers will be without their opening day starter, the guy that was going to get the ball in Game 1 of the NLDS, but you still have Jack Flaherty, who has been great after the trade deadline. You have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who was great in his first start back. Hopefully things start to continue to build up for him. You can get him up to 5-6 innings, hopefully get him as close to 90 pitches as possible in his next 3 opportunities on the bump. But yeah, I definitely think that after that, massive capital letter question mark, right? Huge question marks after that. Game 1, you have Jack Flaherty. Game 2, you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Game 3, you have Hope. And Game 4, you have Prey. That's how it looks right now with the state of this rotation. It is being held together by duct tape, hopes, and dreams. And unfortunately, hope is not a strategy, and you are going to need Gavin Stone to come back healthy at this point. That is number one right now, is Gavin Stone getting as healthy as possible and coming back. Hopefully the rest will help him, and we'll see the best version of Gavin Stone. He is expected to throw a throw tomorrow, and is expected to begin his throwing program over the weekend. So things are trending in the right direction for Gavin Stone. That's definitely what you want to hear. And then after that, is it going to be Landon Knack? Is it going to be Walker Buehler? Is it going to be Bobby Miller? I don't think that is going to be a possibility unless there's more injuries. I think right now the way it looks is you got Flaherty, Yamamoto. Then I think Walker Buehler, I mean, he hasn't been awful in his last couple of starts. He has shown some promise. It's been a bad year overall. There's no doubt about that. But he's still experienced. He still has shown that things are trending in the right direction as far as the command getting better. His last start, he had the horrible defense. He goes 5 innings, gave the 5 earned runs. Against the Angels, 2 earned runs in 5 innings. Against the Orioles, 2 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. So, yeah, as a whole, has he been bad? He has a 5.95 ERA this season, a 164 whip. Yes, it is not butane Buehler. It's not high-octane butane. It's low-octane butane. But still, he's at least trending in the right direction. And there's more pressure on him to step up and pitch better. Do they consider Tony Gonsolin? I mean, do you think that this version of Tony Gonsolin has the potential to be better than Walker Buehler, Landon Knack? That's the question I have for you. Gonsolin has a 9.20 postseason ERA, and that was before having Tommy John surgery. I'm not convinced that that's the route. That's very tough to have your buildup of your season begin in late September and in the postseason. That's definitely not a soft landing. So I don't think Tony Gonsolin is the answer. I think you look at the equation, you look at the calculus of it all, and the number one thing the Dodgers need right now is, I'm not going to say a new training staff because I don't think this is about that, but I could see you guys joking about that. The number one thing the Dodgers need right now is for Gavin Stone to begin his throwing program and for it to go well enough to the point where you can get something out of him in the postseason. And a postseason rotation that it consists of those 4, you need the offense to show up. You need the offense to show up. Another thing I think is very important, too, is you need to get that first round bye now. And the Dodgers, they're in good shape to get that. They're definitely in good shape to put themselves in a position to get a first round bye and finish with one of the top 2 seeds in the National League. But it's imperative at this point. It is imperative that the Dodgers hold on and play good baseball down the stretch. They're 87-60, 4.5 games up on the Padres. So you got to slam the door shut on that because you need that extra rest for the bullpen. The bullpen is going to be pivotal. I do think that this has the potential to be one of the best bullpens that we've seen for the Dodgers in a long time. They have the ability to get lefties out, righties out. You have Michael Kopech, who's a flamethrower. He's been elite since he's been with the Dodgers. Brusdar Graterol's back. You have another guy that throws upper 90s, can get soft contact. Yes, the ball gets put in play, and sometimes when that happens, bad things happen. Just look at Game 2 of the 2022 NLDS when Will Myers hit a ground ball and Trey Turner made the error. Then a couple of batters later, Profar gets the base hit, and then that really is when the wheels fell off, and that Game 2 loss had led to a 111-win Dodger team losing that series and becoming the only 110-plus win team not to get to the NLCS. But I digress on that point. But you have Ryan Brazier pitching well. Evan Phillips is pitching well. Alex Vesey having the best season of his career. Joe Kelly is going to be back at some point. Who knows if he catches fire in the postseason? That could definitely be a big boost. But the bullpen isn't in bad shape. The bullpen definitely got some good news on Brusdar Graterol, and they're going to have to lean on him, and they need the offense to show up. But they're going to have to get that first-round bye. It's going to be absolutely pivotal. Now, bullpens are volatile by nature. The more times you go to the bullpen, the more chances you have that someone doesn't have it on that particular night or day, and they're going to have an off appearance. And yeah, I mean, the best case scenario is you get your starter go 6 or 7. You'll have a couple innings to cover. The offense scores 6 runs, and you sweep your way through series. But that doesn't happen. You don't score 6 runs every game. Your starter doesn't go 6 every game. Not every bullpen piece has it that night. That's what makes baseball so unpredictable. Other sports, the NFL, basketball, they're far more predictable than baseball. Baseball is very different. We get... yes, D-Mac, I love how you find the silver lining. What up, Kelly Oshiro is in Gonson. We trust from Jose Geary, Tyler Glassarm, lots of those out there. From Daniel Kike, yeah, I forgot about Kike. Yeah, Kike. So there's the new rotation. The new rotation will be Kike as the Game 1 starter. The Dodgers starters, Kike is the Game 1 starter, Decoy is the Game 2 starter, Brusdar's mom is the Game 3 starter, then I'll be the Game 4 starter. I got this, guys. We got the J. Fairbanks 4. Doug, can we ask just how much we can believe whatever comes out of this medical staff? They have never been truthful, especially after this Glasnow news. I think that it's definitely, what I always say, I mean, if you guys are watching this show, I always tell you guys every single time, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. And if you listen to what they say, you have to take it with a grain of salt the size of Gibraltar. Okay? You have to really take things very seriously. But, I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, things change. They try to remain optimistic, and sometimes they have a reason to be. And then when the pitcher goes out there, it makes things worse. Unfortunately, that was the case here. But, I mean, they're going to have to get creative. I mean, it's in the history of Major League Baseball, I mean, I can't think of a starting rotation that's been as cursed as the Dodgers in the last couple of seasons. And at some point, you have to take a long, hard look and reevaluate everything. Because it's one thing to just throw out things and be like, oh, this and that. And look, I think that it's mainly because of the style of pitcher and chasing velocity, and you're throwing nastier breaking balls than ever. I think that's the main culprit. And then you can go all the way back to youth baseball and young pitchers throwing harder than ever and throwing curveballs more than they should. Yes, I think that's the root of the problem. There's no doubt about that. But I think that where they can have an impact is on the kind of guys they bring in. And the truth is, they like big stuff. And when you like big stuff usually comes with big injuries. And at some point, you have to really think long and hard about the pitchers that you have, because if you look at, they're focused on the spin rate, they're focused on the velocity, they're focused on what they can do. What they're not as focused on is how many days do they spend on the IL every single year. Because all these pitchers, I mean, you can have their mail sent to the IL because they practically live there for a lot of these guys. And that's just the nature of Major League Baseball. That isn't exclusive to the Dodgers. I think that's important to point out. But the truth of the matter is, I bring my facts to the fight. The truth of the matter is that Dodgers pitchers have spent more days on the injured list this season than any other team in Major League Baseball. So you kind of have to get to the bottom of that. I'm not saying that it's the training staff, because they're trying to do everything they can to keep these guys healthy. Stretching and checking spin rates. They have all the technology and resources to know when pitchers are becoming less effective. They're not throwing as hard later in starts. The spin isn't as good later in starts. But the training staff, they don't determine roster construction. And for everyone out there, it's the parroted take. Every time in Dodgerland there comes, it's just like parroted take. A lot of times it'll start on the show, right? And then they'll just, everyone kind of regurgitate the same thing, right? Training staff, da-da-da, right? The training staff doesn't pick the players that go on this roster, okay? That's the number one thing you focus on. Are you telling me the Rays have a bad training staff too? Let me tell you this. So many people think about Dave Roberts. So many people say about the training staff. That's way down the list. Number one is and always will be roster construction. Which players you scout, which players you pay, which players you trade for. It's all about roster construction on this team and in Major League Baseball in 2024. I'm not just saying that. Talk to tons of insiders, tons of people around Major League Baseball, and I ask them these questions, and they all agree with me. And that's just the truth. It's about roster construction and the kind of players you want. And when you want players with big stuff, this is what happens. This is a possibility, right? We got Richard Flores, a $4.99 super chat. Dave and the Dodgers have been dishonest with Glasnow since he went on the IL. What else are they hiding from us fans? We got Matthew, $4.99. Sorry to hear about Glasnow. I'm a Padres fan, but it's better to face you guys healthy. Nobody likes that. Hey, what's up? Little classy Padres fan there. Appreciate that. Yeah, definitely is good for baseball and those two teams. Sure, D-Mac, try to make us feel better about it. That's from Alex over there. Dave Roberts burned the bullpen and starters. That's from Nendo. Hey, Doug, just joined the YouTube chat. Can you do a review? We just did, so you can rewind for sure. So what D-Mac is saying is the Dodgers are getting swept again. I'm not saying that. Come on, love. Why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that? The Gators show. Anybody got Charlie Huff's phone number? We got the Rangers average 5.7 runs per game last October at BC. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to prove early, is that this offense needs to show up, and they do have to show up in a major way. And the truth is that's why they struggled the last couple of seasons. And the truth is, though, I mean, when you have an ace, I mean, look at Steven Strasburg in 2019, when Max Scherzer, when you have an ace that can get it done, it makes life a lot easier. There's no doubt about that. No one's disputing that. But the Dodgers still have horses at the front, potentially in Flaherty and Yamamoto. Are both those guys better than Glasnow? No. Full stop. When they're at their best, Glasnow is a better pitcher than Flaherty and Yamamoto. But your best ability is availability in Major League Baseball. And right now, he just, for whatever reason, his body just gives out on him. And it's nothing on Tyler Glasnow. No one wants to be on the mound more. No one works harder. It's not like he doesn't want to pitch. That's not the case, right? It's not the case. And look, I hope that he almost becomes an Anthony Davis type for the Dodgers, where Anthony Davis, everyone's calling him street clothes Davis, and Anthony Davis doesn't play. And then what happened? Anthony Davis has changed the narrative on that for the true ball knowers, and Anthony Davis does go out there and play, and he doesn't miss a lot of time. Well, hopefully that can be the case with Tyler Glasnow moving forward, because you still have him under contract for 4 more seasons after this. So it's very, very important to remain optimistic they can figure out a way to get the most out of him. But I do it like you said, BC. I mean, averaging almost 6 runs per game. Hey, let's get fireworks show on offense. Let's see Shohei Ohtani hit like this in the postseason. Let's see Mookie Betts hit like this in the postseason. Freddie Freeman's 3 for his last 26. He's going through a little slump. Let's see if we can get the same Freddie Freeman that we saw in the 2021 World Series, the 2022 World Series. I mean, when they were outstanding, right? Let's see that. That's what I want to see. Because last year in the postseason, the Dodgers collectively were 17 for 96, hit 177. You know where that ranks for the teams in the postseason last year? Dead last. They lost because they couldn't hit. As bad as their pitching was, they lost because they couldn't hit. How about in 2022? What happened in 2022 when they lost to the Padres? They hit 227, had a 704 OPS. That isn't going to get it done. So there you go. 44 strikeouts for the Dodgers and 132 at-bats in that series. Let's go to the comments, guys. Dino Ebo can pitch, 7-man rotation. Yeah, I know, right? We need a call for Beetlejuice. That's from Mr. Marty Mart. MLB needs to introduce a tack your ball to reduce pitcher injuries. That's from Golf Grouch. We can have that conversation another day. I've talked about the balls in the NPB that are tackier. You can get a little more grip, or at the very least have a universal substance, which I think it would be big. I have talked to pitchers that have told me that the pitch clock does not help. And the pitch clock is something that is relevant to increasing injuries in Major League Baseball as well. We got to get rid of Roberts. Just face it, the season's over. Hey, look, come on now. This season's not over. Let me just tell you this. Am I guaranteeing the Dodgers are going to win the World Series? No, I'm not. I never do that. Anyone who does that, I mean, it's just that's just for attention. Let's be honest. Because it's fun, but that's just for attention, right? I mean, as good as the Dodgers are, right? They're a team that has one of the best records in baseball. They have an 18% chance to win the World Series right now. So, I mean, that's just that's how it is. What up, T? What up, Nando390? What up, freaking Ferg says bullpen is taxed too. That's why you need that break. It's so imperative to have that break. They should add 20 seconds to the pitch clock. I definitely think they need to revisit that and do a little more scientific backing on the data. And just, I mean, why would you want to do anything that can hurt the pitchers in any way, shape, or form? For sure. I do think that one of the big takeaways for today is just moving forward. Glasnow went 14 innings past his previous career high, and then he was done. Okay? You cannot, when you think something's going to break, you can't use it. When your car has the check engine light on, if you continue to drive it, it's going to break down, and you're going to end up costing yourself more money after that. First sign of it, go right to the mechanic and do whatever you need to do. And I think that knowing that with Glasnow, I probably, in retrospect, hindsight is 20/20. But still, having said that, I mean, Major League Baseball too. I mean, they're doing this crazy thing where they're thinking about maybe 6-inning minimums for pitchers and 12 pitchers on the roster as a maximum. That can't happen. I mean, I think with certain guys like this, maybe 100 innings is the sweet spot. Maybe, for sure. Back-to-back Nate says, stop signing these higher-risk, high-reward guys. Sign guys that have been consistently durable throughout their careers. Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is it kind of comes to the territory. I mean, if you look at the high velocity numbers in the last couple of seasons, I mean, outside of maybe Garrett Cole, most of those guys end up having Tommy John surgery. It's just the way of the world. But I agree with you. I mean, you kind of have to think long and harder about it too. And hey, what I say at the deadline, I said the Dodgers needed 2 starters, not just 1. And yes, Garrett Crochet hasn't pitched well, and the Tigers were likely not to go to trade Skubal, but I look at a guy like Yusei Kikuchi. You could have had Yusei Kikuchi and Jack Flaherty, and Kikuchi has pitched very well for the Astros, and he can pump 97, 98 too, and he's a lefty. So, for sure. Nando390, what's up, Nando? D-Mac releasing the Thank You Fans 2024 video later tonight. Bruh. Oh, I skipped your super chat. Sorry, Kelly O'Shea. I'll get back to that. Really apologize. You're a Hall of Famer. I'm gonna go back to finding that for sure. Give me 1 second here. Fire super chat. We got a lot of comments today, a lot of news to get into, and then obviously the Clayton Kershaw news isn't good as well. I mean, the Clayton Kershaw news hurts too. And I think at this point you probably were assuming that he was going to be a part of the mix. But, yeah, I mean, I just hope that Kersh comes back next year, gets a proper send-off, gets 3,000. We got Jay says, my heart dropped after reading the title. BC, I'm glad I got to see at least one World Series in my lifetime. Hepatitis, see you later. Drinking a bottle of Henny to get through this gut punch. Yeah, I feel your pain. Here's the thing. Another point I want to make is this. All the people out there that were saying this was a phantom IL situation, clearly that wasn't the case. Maybe it started that way, but it certainly didn't end that way. That's for sure. Chris St. Jacques says, time for our $1 billion offense to step up. Exactly. Hey, offense, do you. Go out there and prove that you can rake your way to a World Series title. And that should have been the mindset either way. But absolutely, I mean, this offense has the firepower to do damage. Now, are you going to blow out every single team and chase every pitcher? No, that's not going to happen. But I definitely think that for sure that's going to be the case, is where it's going to fall on this offense. Here's the thing, if this offense is scoring 2-3 runs per game, you're going to get swept in the DS, right? But if you score 5 or 6 runs per game, you're going to give yourself a chance. And I think what I want to see with this offense is, hey, if your starter in game 3 struggles early, or your starter in game 4 struggles early, don't go quiet in the night like we saw last season. Don't go 1 for 23 if you're Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts combined. I think this is a legacy postseason series for Mookie Betts with the Dodgers. I truly believe that. I really do, because he doesn't have too much prime left. I think he has a lot of. I've talked to Mookie, and Mookie has told me that it's. I told Mookie at the beginning of the year, I was like, hey man, you finished with more WAR than Ronald Acuna Jr., the person who won the MVP, and he was like, I don't care about that. I truly don't. The only thing I focus on is the fact that I didn't finish well, and I was very impressed by the sound in his voice, the look in his eyes. And I know there's a lot of haters out there that he'd rather be bowling than playing baseball. That's the biggest piece of bull junk I've ever heard, is because Mookie is as fiery a competitor as ever. No one wants to perform more than Mookie Betts. Having said that, he has to perform. And the truth of the matter is that before Shohei Ohtani, he was the face of this franchise. He was the highest paid player as far as the longevity of his contract. And Mookie has to say, you know what? Yeah, we won the World Series in 2020. That was great. Yes, he did have a really nice NLDS against the Giants in 2021. Outside of that, he's struggled. He did not hit in the 2021 NLCS. He did not hit in the 2022 NLDS. And he did not hit in the 2023 NLDS. Mookie's got to step up and perform. And so does Shohei Ohtani. So does Freddie. Teoscar Hernandez is in a great spot to earn some money as well. And then we'll see. Look, the way it's going to work out is this. Here, I'll give you guys just the first line of defense. So you got Flaherty, Yamamoto. If Gavin Stone's healthy, he's going to be their number 3 starter. And the number 4 is going to be between Walker Buehler, Landon Knack, Bobby Miller, outside chance, very slim chance. Tony Gonsolin, very slim chance. Clayton Kershaw, done. Glasnow, done. And then you have a bullpen that has a lot of talent, and you're going to lean on them heavily. But you need the offense to really, really step up. Hey, Ben Kasparius is a couple of injuries away from having the opportunity of a lifetime. Are we at the Ben Kasparius chapter of the Dodgers postseason yet? A $4.99 super chat from Jason Diamond. D-Mac, call out Andrew Friedman. He's the one who constructs the roster. I will say this. Friedman has put together an incredible roster. There's no doubt about that. He needed a starting pitcher, and he did give himself a little bit of insurance with Jack Flaherty. And look, I think that they went out there and they got one of the best starting pitchers that was available in Tyler Glasnow, right? Could you have gotten Cease? Could you have gotten Burns? We'll never know, right? There definitely was communication with those guys for years and the teams that they were on. The Dodgers and the White Sox, the Dodgers and the Brewers for Burns and for Cease. But what I think is that the Dodgers traded Ryan Pepiot, who was really good down the stretch. Pepiot is still waiting to pitch in Game 4, right? and they wanted to trade for a pitcher that they could extend. And the Dodgers were on a short list of teams that Tyler Glasnow was willing to sign long-term with. And we know the Boris connections with Cease, with Burns, and you're going to basically get a rental out of those guys. 1 year with Burns, a couple of seasons with Cease. And then the same thing with Crochet, right? I mean, it's difficult to sign guys. Well, Crochet would get a couple of years too, but like the truth of the matter is they like the idea of Glasnow because he had big stuff. They could get an extension done. I think in retrospect, would you still do the deal? Depends. Can they keep him healthy the next season? I think, as for me, you guys want me to slam Friedman? I can't do that. I just can't. I just can't, because I still believe the Dodgers have a chance to win the World Series this year. I still like their roster as a whole. I think they put together the best and most balanced 1 through 9 in Major League Baseball. I think Yamamoto was great and has a chance to win a Cy Young. I think the Flaherty trade has been awesome. The Kopech trade's been awesome. The Edmund trade's been awesome, right? But as far as the Glasnow thing, I will say this. I just hope that they learned a valuable lesson out of this, and that you can't manage Tyler Glasnow like you managed any other pitcher in this rotation, right? He doesn't have a rubber arm. He does not have a rubber arm. So I hope that next season we see him managed differently. I truly do. I mean, whether that's skipping starts, innings limits, finding a way to shelf him in some capacity. I mean, at this point, I think it's not even a phantom IL situation with Tyler Glasnow during the season. I think he's probably pitching through stuff the entire season, where if you would look under the hood, there's probably something there, whether it be his back or his arm, that you could justifiably have him on the IL. So any sign of anything, like I said, that check engine light goes on, you take him to McKain, you leave him there, right? So I just hope that they learned a valuable lesson in this. Yes, you want the big stuff, but as long as you're evolving, right? So look, the truth is, I mean, it's never easy to get these deals done, but the Dodgers don't like to give up prospect capital value for rentals. And when they do those deals, they do it when they're comfortable with the guys they're giving up. And we know that. That's why a lot of times you see the Dodgers, when they're going to trade for a starting pitcher, whether it be a Max Scherzer, that included a Trey Turner, they got the value out of that. They gave their 2 top prospects, but Trey Turner was involved. And you saw the Udarvis deal. That was a rental too. The Jack Flaherty deal, that's a rental too. And that really is the most important thing, is kind of deciding if you're kind of going all out on something, then what is the move there? What is the move there? I mean, look at the gave up for Jack Flaherty. Tyron Lorenzo, catcher. You already have Dalton Rushing. You already have Diego Cartaya. You already have catchers in this organization. A shortstop in Trey Sweeney, right? I mean, they didn't really give up a ton to get him. So, I mean, at some point, you got a lot of pitchers now. Get more, I guess. Get more, and hope that 1 year they're as healthy as possible. We got Paybauer and Tortas. You're crazy. Philip Fountain, look, we can moan all we want about Glasnow, but the fact is we're not alone. Fragile pitchers are the norm across Major League Baseball. Deal with it. Yeah, 100%. It's a crisis because it's the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are dealing with more than other teams. I will say that. Sonny, D-Mac is going to need a couple of tortas to feel better after this news. I'm going right to my taco truck right up the street from me. I'm going to get some after this for sure. Some nice avocado on those. That's right, D-Mac. Offense needs to pick it up. D-Mac, forget Kershaw. He has been bad in the playoffs as an MVP and as a Cy Young pitcher. From Tommy Alvarado. Kevin, conspiracy theories. Hey, I like my conspiracy theories. He says Shohei is stealing everyone else's health like Shokan so he can hit that 50-50 mark. Okay, I'm going to give you a finish him for that. You're crazy. You're absolutely insane, but I respect the theory there. Drewski, pitching defense wins championships, and if we don't have a solid 3 starters, we're done. I mean, look, I look at this. This is an opportunity. This is a big opportunity for the starters that are remaining healthy for this Dodgers organization. Now, if we get news that Gavin Stone's setback has been the Gavin Stone's throwing program is bad and he suffers a setback, then it's going to be very dire as far as where the Dodgers odds are. And yes, I've said it before, I say it again, it does feel like the pitching is a season of Netflix's Squid Game and you're just losing guys left and right. But the truth is that before yesterday's game, people were pretty high on the idea of Landon Knack getting an opportunity. And yeah, Landon Knack is going to go out there and pitch like prime Kurt Schilling in the postseason or anything like that. But the cupboard is not bare, and they're in a better spot than they were last season. Think about this. The Dodgers are in such a better spot this year with the arms that are currently healthy and the offense. The offense is exponentially better. You added the second best hitter in baseball right behind Aaron Judge. I mean, he's equally as dangerous when he's on fire in Shohei Ohtani, an elite hitter, right? I mean, three best hitters in baseball are Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. Whatever order you want to place them in, you can go ahead and do that. I'm always going to be a little biased towards my guy, Mr. Shohei Ohtani, right? None of those other guys can pitch, last time I checked. But on the same token, let's not forget that the Shohei Ohtani option exists. And I do think before we end the show here, that gets realer and realer every day. Every single day. Shohei Ohtani is desperate. He's starving to win a World Series title. And if he thinks he can pitch at a high level and that there isn't an additional risk of injury and it's just about him finding the command, he's not afraid of anything. So I'm not saying he's going to go out there and start games, but you definitely want this threat in the opposing team's minds. And if you have Shohei Ohtani pitching out of his bullpen in any capacity, which this bullpen already has a lot of filthy arms, you do compensate for the lack of starting pitching in another area there. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely dreaming later in the postseason. But I will say that today's news, I think you have more conversations about the potential of doing that if you're all in on winning this season. Because, yeah, you can go out there and tell me, like, oh, it's all right, D-Mac. This is the first year of Shohei Ohtani. This is the first year of Shohei Ohtani. And next year we get Shohei Ohtani back on the mound. Maybe we get Roki Sasaki. Maybe this, maybe that. Da-da-da. No. Freddie Freeman's 35. He just turned 35. How many prime years does Mookie Betts have? There's no guaranteed Teo's going to be back. Will Smith didn't have a good last 3 months. Max Muncy, he's dealt with injuries for the last couple of seasons. No. I don't want to hear that at all. To me, it needs to be as desperate as ever to take advantage of the primes of Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and what you have in Jack Flaherty, too, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, too. For sure. Daniel Clark, D-Mac, it must be urgent if you're going live so close to game time. Oh, it's urgent. Oh, it is urgent. The Dodgers just lost their ace for the postseason, most likely. We got BC says 1 World Series every 32 years is the new normal. At least it's not 108 like the Cubs. That is so positive. I mean, for sure. I mean, the Cubs went 108 years. And that definitely is the all-time worst. But the Red Sox, I believe, was 86 years. So, yeah, it isn't as bad as those guys. But, hey, I don't know about you guys. I don't like the fact that the Diamondbacks and the Angels have had a World Series parade more recently than the Dodgers. That doesn't sit well with me. Does it sit well with you? Doesn't sit well with me. But too many things stacked against us. Offense that doesn't know how to play small ball against that. Brian, it's baseball. Everyone strikes out. A couple more guys, and we'll let you enjoy your Saturday night. Who you guys watching the game? College football, UCLA, Indiana. Who's going to win that one? Kelly Oshiro, Alex. We got, what's up, Kelly? Tommy Alvarado, if Ohtani pitches in the playoffs, will he be allowed to hit in the same game? Yeah, I mean, you have to designate him as a pitcher. I mean, the way the roster is set up, they're going to have to kind of finagle that, and that they're going to have to basically make it clear that that's their plan. But, yeah, I mean, it does get a little dicey. Like, I mean, if you use him in that sense and he's in the lineup as well, but still, that's going to be something that they're going to have to really decide is a major plan. You can't just be kind of iffy about it. It has to be something that they want to go all in with. And that's why I think the only time you would see it is later in the postseason. If you're that deep into the postseason, he's feeling good. I think the biggest obstacle is, does he continue his rehab before games? before games like he has been because he hasn't played in the postseason. It's a lot of stress already as a hitter. Is going to be doing the same rehab stuff before games when fans are there earlier and you have a little more attention on you. So it's definitely possible, though. Absolutely, 100%. We got JKid23, DMAC, who is faster, Mookie Betts or Bartolo Colon. Man, I'd say Mookie Betts by a landslide, but I love me some Bartolo Colon, I'll tell you that much. Where is that, Granky? Where is that, Granky? Yeah, man. How about that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome for sure. The Zach Greinke era in Dodger baseball for sure. We got Bartolo Colon. Well, I guess about Bartolo Colon. Never forget. You guys remember who he hit the home run off of at Petco Park? Anyone? James Shields. Remember that? James Shields. We got hi D-Mac, hi Will. But that's going to do it, guys. We're going to wrap this one up. We'll be back with you guys after the game. Dodgers, Braves, Sale versus Flaherty tonight. And the big news is the Dodgers without Jack Flaherty. I mean, The Dodgers have Jack Flaherty, and they need Jack Flaherty. But the Dodgers will be without Tyler Glasnow for the entire rest of the season and the postseason. Most likely we'll be back to break down the game after. So join us for the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think